Game on. Hey there, game gurus. Welcome back to the channel. Today's really almost like a Seinfeld episode. It's really a show about nothing, but kind of something. Here's one of my ones I really liked working on. This took me a while. It's a recreation of the Adventure Vision by Entex. This was actually a portable, well, semi-portable machine that used 40 LEDs and a revolving mirror. The mirror was on both sides, and as it spun, it created a small, like display, almost like a Virtual Boy. Actually, very much like the Virtual Boy did many years later, but a very low resolution. It only came with 4 cartridges, and I have them up here, but they're not real cartridges. They are basically just wood. That's all they are, is wood. But let's fire this up and see if it works. Now, this is running a small little PC in here, so obviously not like the real machine. It was really just because these guys, they went for about 70 bucks originally back in the day, and then when they closed out, you got all the games and this for like 40 bucks. But now if you try and get one, I've tried for many years to get one. They can cost you $5,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, and I ain't paying that kind of money for this, so kind of made my own. So let's just see if this thing does fire up. It is running a Windows operating system, but let's see if it works. Which I'm going to put in right here. And again, the cartridges aren't real. This is Space Fortress, which was, I believe, like an Asteroids kind of clone. They did have a version of Defender. They also did have Super Cobra and, Turtles. So I just put a little piece of metal down here, and where the cartridge goes, I put a magnet. So when you put them in, it does kind of hold it in place. So, but it's not necessary for what I'm doing here today. But it does have this little storage rack up top, and there are buttons here on both sides, and a joystick as well. And well, let's see if this thing fires up. I gotta plug it in over here, like so. And it's booting up right here. Again, it's running a version of Windows on it. And I don't know if I use a joystick. Actually, I think I need a mouse for this thing. I haven't played this thing in so long. It's not a touchscreen, nope. So I need to get a mouse connected to this, and I really don't have a mouse handy. So I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do this. So I'll be right back. Okay, I have no idea what I did with the original mouse. I guess it was a Logitech mouse I had. So I had one of these. I got this at actually Five Below, which was, I think I paid $5 for this thing. So it's a little, small keyboard. It doesn't have very long range. Actually, it has a really short range. But for something like this, it should be fine. So here's the keypad here. And there's my mouse. So I'm going to go over and pick the Adventure Vision right here. And we'll tap on that. And I'm going to say OK. Of course, it's running an emulator. And we'll load one of the games. Let's try, which one is this here? Let's just pick one. And there's Space Force. I think you can go full screen. Now another machine is this here. This is actually a Blaze Pong that I had my friend Gary Campbell from Arcade Workshop design a 3D printed shell for it. So you can kind of see in the back here, you know, still got the Blaze back panel and battery compartment, but he designed a really nice looking 3D printed shell for it. And this does run on batteries, but you know, let's just see if it works. So hit the little button right here. He actually made a little coin decal I never put on there, but maybe I should. You can see it booted right up right there. You can see all the games, and you know, let's pick Pong. I think I picked it. Of course not. Wrong button. Start's the one I wanted. So there's Pong, and when you hit start, I can't see where my guy is from my angle. Hopefully you guys can see it a little bit, but it does work. And you know, I love this machine. I really wish someone would emulate Pong the right way. I know I spoke to one of the developers of, let's turn this off, it's beeping, developers of the Blaze unit, and you know, there was a lot of issues with the design cycle, programmers taking money, not finishing the work. One poor guy who I know basically gave them his friend who was supposed to do the work, and he never really completed the work, so he ended up taking time off of his job to make what's in here, and it was very rushed, and I feel bad for him. They got stuck with it. But I really would like to see a Pong unit that really plays arcade Pong the way it's supposed to. Again, for right now this isn't too bad, but this little guy still works. Let's take a look at another one of my home built units. Okay, another unit I have, and I know this one is not working properly, is this little virtual pinball machine. It has a 7-inch main display and a 5-inch back glass. Now this shell and a lot of the stuff inside here was designed by Dwayne Ringo. He's a friend of mine. He's got his own Facebook group as well. But this pinball is a pain. It's just that simple. Pinball is a pain, and this is running a small x86 PC in here. And I know that the operating system is Windows 10, but I know the virtual pin software is not right. I had it working for a while, and then I did some stuff, and it got messed up, and I went back to it. But you can see it's got some nice aluminum legs. It actually has a working little plunger here. Pull out and goes in. Pull out, goes in. Your coin buttons here. On the back, see on the back here, we have a couple more buttons here. This is our shutdown button. We have our 2 speakers, volume control, and micro USB input inside there. And on the bottom, it's just a fan. It's I think it's a Latte Panda PC in here. I'm going to try and fire it up, but I don't give a lot of hope that it's going to work properly. But let's see what it does do. Okay, I believe it's going to be the button on the back right here. Let's press that for a second and see if it does come to life. See, it does say Latte Panda right there. And I think one of the capacitors on the back screen needs to be replaced as well. The back screen kind of works and goes on and turns off quite a bit. So the Latte Panda is not the most high performance. It's I believe it's a Celeron, but for some simple pinball tables, it was fine. So you can see we got the Windows desktop there. The back glass, you can see, is flashing on and off, and I think a capacitor got shot on that, so it shouldn't be too hard to fix, but I do know this one needs some work. And I would like, oh, there it goes. Okay, so it's coming up a little bit, but I'm pretty sure it's going to come in and out on the back screen. And like I said, I do some pinball tables on here, but I really don't think that they're working. And actually, I don't think my control software is working. Remote controls work for this right now. But this, I'll probably do another video. This is I had done for a few years now, quite a few years. Dwayne gave this to me, the shell. But I really haven't had time to really set the pinball up, which is why I like the At Games Legends pinball, because you don't have to mess with this. But I just want to see if this thing still works, and it does. It boots into Windows. Both screens do work, although I do know that screen needs a little work. And I know we got our plunger button here. And then we have our little nudge button down here. If you can kind of see that, there's an extra button nudge. And then your actual plunger, you know, flippers, I should say. Insert coin. And I think this might actually be a touch screen, but it's below another screen, so it doesn't actually work. So anyway, this is really just to show this one off. This one I know needs work. I know Dwayne has a lot of pinball machines running on his, and he's like, Glenn, send it out, I'll fix it. And I just never did because, you know, I should be able to fix it, figure it out myself. And that's really it for this one. So let's take a look at, I think, my final machine I want to show you guys. But this guy here, one day I'm sure will be working. Maybe when I'm retired, I could spend some time really working on this one. But these little tiny pinball machines are really neat, and there's a lot of people making them right now. But this little guy right now is still a work in progress. Let's see if the shutdown button works. Hit this button again, and sure enough, there it goes. And it's going to sleep. The only game I actually had running on this well was Night 2000, I think it was called. Then when I messed with it, tried to put other games on there, is when I lost that, and then everything started not working well. But let's go take a look at the next unit. Here's another little one I had done a long time ago. This was a bunch of these old little MGA LCD games, and I'd gotten one that was broken, and I said to myself, you know what, they have these little small little NES and a chip handhelds. I think mine was like $12 on it, and I said, maybe I can, you know, put that in here and convert this into a little machine. So you can see I did put some artwork on it. This is one of my early machines I did. And I put these huge buttons on the back. And you know what? I don't know if this even uses a battery or not. Again, it's been so long since I've taken a look at some of these things. I really have no idea. And I gotta find a screwdriver. Okay, so this one is very, very early. So we take off the battery cover here, and there is a battery in there. No idea if this thing works. This hasn't been turned on in many, many years. And I have the micro USB actually there. I don't know why I did that. I probably should have put it on the side or in the back. But again, this is a very early one that I worked on. So let's see if this even works. I highly doubt it's going to turn on right now. Here's a power switch right there. So yeah, the battery's completely dead. So let's see if this thing has got any juice whatsoever. I'm going to take off the back cover here and plug this in a very kludgy way. You can see I got a little light in there with the charging circuit. If you can see it, there's a little amber color in there. I'm going to hold this like this so it doesn't break. Yeah, Glenn does everything standing up versus doing it in a smarter way. So let's see if we can turn this thing on and see if it actually comes to life. Here we go. And it did. So it's a 152 in 1, which means there's probably 155 or 160 of clones or hacks. Let's see, there's a button here, 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 and there's actually two on the back. So one's a reset. There's the reset. So, oh, that's a reset as well. Here we go. So I'm pretty sure Donkey Kong's on here as well. I just love Donkey Kong. There's a lot of games on here, as you can see. Kung Fu, Dig Dug. And again, the machine that's in here was like $12 when I had gotten it on Amazon. And it fit in here fairly well. So even if you don't have the ability to work with a Raspberry Pi or something along those lines, you still might be able to hack something in using an existing little handheld that maybe has more games on it than you would have. Here we go. Now, I hope this is the right button. No! This one? No! Maybe this one? This one? This one? Here we go. Again, you would think I remember how these buttons work, but this is the NES port, obviously. And there's a pause. So where's my jump? There it is. Oh, this is going to be really impossible to do. Go up. He did. So again, even if you don't know how to make one out of a Raspberry Pi, you still might be able to create something original. And that's what this is here. So that's it for this little guy. I'm happy he still works, but I don't know if the battery's going to work. The battery is ancient that's in here. But again, sometimes the battery could be dead and the machine will still play. But I think at some point I'm going to relocate this charging connector, so you don't have to disassemble the battery compartment to hit it up. Yeah, something to do another day. That's what rainy days are for. Okay, here's the final unit for today, and this is the direct precursor to the GRS Build-A-Cade. Like I said, when I was working on, this guy right here, that's where I kind of learned all I needed to know how to make everything that's going to be in here and then in the Build-A-Cade. But it all started with this little guy right there. And, I knew we would never see a Donkey Kong, from Nintendo, and I always wanted a Donkey Kong. I don't have an actual arcade, which would be ideal. But this is a really good recreation. So I asked Gary again from Arcade Workshop if he could design me a 3D printed, case for Raspberry Pi to play Donkey Kong and showcase it off. And this is really when the Build-A-Cade idea really said, you know what, this is really cool. I think other people would like to do that as well. And you can see on the back right here, he even made a little barrel for the volume control. So when you adjust the volume, it looks like a little barrel. And we do have, power with 2 USB ports back there, micro SD card slot, the speaker. And of course, this was it was designed to be 3D printed. So it wasn't really set up to be a sellable product, but he did a really, really good job. We still had the 2 coin doors here. Of course, this doesn't pop out to be a headphone jack. We have a 3D printed joystick, but I suggest to put a nail in there for rigidity. We have our buttons here. This one sticks a little bit. I probably should have maybe made sure that fit a little bit better. But let's fire this thing up, and it should work. And this thing hasn't been out too long. Make sure the volume is up. I'm not quite sure which way is up, but hopefully that is. And let's see what we get. Looks like the screen did turn on. We have the back, the marquee lit up as well. I love Gary did that. That was awesome when he did that. Now I'm pretty sure I installed the Raspberry Pi 3 in here, but you can see accepts quarters, hit player 1, which still sticks. I gotta fix that one of these days. And of course it does have the ability to do HDMI out, although we have no port in the back of this one for that. You can see everything works. Well, you can't win them all. Some things are bittersweet. Out of all the machines I tested, everyone was working except for my biggest triumph one I had made, which was the Super Impulse Raspberry Pi Zero Mini-Cade. Now, I think there's a short in here. I don't think it's the battery anymore. I had an issue a couple of times with the 1.44 inch display that's in here. So this is going to have to be a complete rebuild, I think, at some point. I'm not going to be doing it right now, but it does kind of suck. At least my other one does work, my tabletop, but this guy, I spent so much time on getting him working with the little joystick on the back and everything. And it just reboots and reboots and reboots, which tells me there's either a power issue or a short. But right now, I tried looking at it, spent about 2 hours on it today, and I'm probably just going to rebuild the whole thing from scratch. But all the other ones did work. So the main point about my video today is making sure you're keeping your devices properly charged. It's like a cell phone or anything else. These lithium batteries, if they start getting into a weird state, it's possible to be causing problems in the future. Now, the good thing is with the Build-A-Cade and with the New Wave Toys units, the batteries are replaceable. The GRS Build-A-Cade, take a couple of screws off the back and you can swap out the battery if it does go bad. It's a readily available battery. And the Super Impulse, they are fairly easy to get to. They have a couple of stickers on the back you will have to go through to access the battery compartment. But best way to make sure it doesn't happen at all is every once in a while just charge them up and let them get them used. But like anything, they still do wear out and will at some point in time need to be replaced. It's just something to keep in the back of your minds. But that's it for this video. I want to thank you all for watching, and if you did like the video, please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, and most of all, smash that like button. It really helps out the channel. It just takes a second for you guys, but it helps me out a lot. But in any case, whether you do or not, whether you hit the like button or whether you like the video or not, I do appreciate you spending some time here. And remember to tell your family and friends that you love them. Tomorrow's never promised. And most of all, no matter how you do it or what you play, just remember to game on. Game on. Sit, Blue Blue, sit. Good dog.